Well, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Talkin Football Podcast. Episode 59 is what we're at now, and I can't wait to get right back into it. It's been a little bit, but we're back to recap NFL Week 12. We have a great show, as always. We're talking about coordinators getting fired, ballers, fallers, and dogs of the week. You're not going to want to miss it. Let's hit the intro and get right into episode 59. As always, hope everyone's doing well. Had a really good week of football. Thanksgiving's coming up, so when you're watching this, hope you're enjoying your Thanksgiving weekend, break, whatever you're on. Hope you're enjoying it, and we're going to break down another fun week from the NFL. Now, this week or weekend, we had not a lot, but two is a pretty good amount. You don't see a lot of these firings that's this often. Two coordinator firings, one from each side of the ball. Chip Kelly, canned. Shane Bowen, canned. Let's talk about it. Chip Kelly came from Ohio State and former head coach, not a lot of success, but at Ohio State, a lot of success. Could that be the weapons? Sure. But for what it's worth, as a play caller, I think he did a really good job. All right. Will Howard played well. All right. Judkins and Henderson, that was a great duo there. Smith, Tate, Ibuka, list goes on, right? So great weapons. And then the Raiders, Pete Carroll comes back from retirement or from being fired. I don't really know. And it's a little dicey there. And he brings in Chip Kelly. So you got two former head coaches there. Okay. Chip Kelly inherits an offense with Geno Smith, who was coming off not a great year, but he's definitely revived his career a little bit. Coming off a draft where they added Ashton Genty. You have weapons, you have Jacoby Myers, you have Trey Tucker, Brock Bowers was obviously fantastic. So you got guys. Not as much as Ohio State, not even close, but you have guys. And he hasn't done anything with them. Geno looks like he did when he was with the Jets. Brock Bowers is not getting involved. He's also been hurt. Genty seems to be a normal running back. He doesn't really scare me that much. I think the fear factor is coming back a little bit. But Genty, a big thing about him was downhill speed. He could just run anyone over despite his size. He's a little shorter than a typical running back. But he can run anyone over. Okay, and that hasn't really been the case this year. He's had great games, don't get me wrong, and I'm really rooting for Genty. I really am. I think he obviously has a lot in the tank still. He's only a rookie. But Chip Kelly has not been able to deliver at all. And it's a shame because this is a team that has a lot of good players. Obviously, Myers is not there anymore. Trey Tucker, new white at one, kind of. Brock Bowers has been okay, if that. So this was needed. I think Pete Carroll's gone after this season. We'll definitely see. But, man, the Raiders have a lot of work to do offensively. Antonio Pierce said this weekend, had I stayed, I was going to draft Shedeur. Shedeur comes out. He doesn't have a great game. Not amazing completion percentage-wise, like just a little bit over 50%. But he looked good. He looked good doing it. And I think that Brown's offense was clicking a lot. He's a starter again this week. So we'll see how that kind of turns out for Cleveland. We're definitely curious to see how this kind of works out for the Raiders, though. On the defensive side, Shane Bowen has been fired by the New York Giants. Shane Bowen, similarly to Chip Kelly, not as much, but he definitely inherited actually more, I would say, than Chip Kelly. He inherited a great roster. Carter, Tibbs, Burns, Dexy, Okereke, they added Adebo, added Holland, along with other players on this team. And I'm left wanting more. I think every player on this team, on this defense rather, maybe other than with the exception of Brian Burns, has underperformed, and maybe Paulson Adebo and Cordell Flott. Let's include him. He's been really good this year. And Adebo, you can argue he's underperformed. I think statistically he hasn't been as good as he used to be. So why is that? Is that a player issue? Is that a Giants curse? Is it a Shane Bowen issue? That's why I'm struggling. I don't see anything else. They've just not been good at all. I was just watching a short from Talking Giants, and they said that the Giants have allowed almost 6 yards a carry against the run, excuse me, which is the worst in the NFL, and according to Doug Analytics, I want to say the worst in the Super Bowl era, which is like 1970. Speaks for itself. When you have a front four like that, and you're allowing 6 yards of carry, there's a scheming issue. The Giants have now blown this Sunday. They blew their 5th lead of 10 plus points in the 4th quarter. Seems to be very different for Big Blue. It definitely could be. Let's say they win those games, or 5 leads of 10 plus points, and they lost them. Plus the game against Green Bay where they had a 4th quarter lead as well. That's 6 games right there. Just like that, I think they're 2-10 now. Just like that, you are now, what are you? 6 wins. Let's do the math there. You're 8-4, maybe 7-5, maybe 6-6. Fun 6-6, 7-5 team. Really bad 2-10 team. I don't want to blame it all on Shane Bowen. Obviously, Dable was a part of it. But this could be very different if they moved on from Bowen earlier. Let's get into the fun part. We had a really good week of football. Let's talk about the ballers. Ballers. Let's talk about .Bears, man. .Bears. I'm sure there's a clip of me in my earlier episodes this season just talking so poorly about the Bears. Excuse me, about .Bears. They have really turned a page. I don't think they're that good, though. I'm going to still, but I want to see them play the Lions so badly. I want to see them play the Lions. I don't know if they have this season. While I'm talking, I'll look. It's just like, I don't know. They're a good team. They're 8-3. That says a lot. Okay. No, they actually lost 52-21 to the Lions. They were 0-2. Since then, they are 8-1. Here's the deal, and I was actually correct about this then. They haven't really played anyone that's like eye-opening. Maybe the Steelers. That's fine. Let's say the Steelers. Lost to Minnesota, and we know they're not good right now. And we'll talk about them in a little bit. Got blown out by the Lions. That's early on, though. I think this is a different Bears team. We all know that. Beat the Cowboys. They're all right. They're not great. Not bad, though. They barely beat the Raiders. Barely beat the Commanders. That's not that impressive. They beat both those teams by a combined 2 points. Beat the Saints. Lost to the Ravens by double digits. Beat the Bengals in a wild game. Came back to beat the Giants. Beat the Vikings on a walk-off field goal. And held on to beat the Steelers. That's not super impressive. The Steelers win is impressive. That's a hard environment to play. It doesn't matter how bad they are. But as much as I like everyone this week, I'm like, who should I put in here? The Bears deserve they deserve a space here. Caleb Williams. My opinion still stands. If you want to know what my opinion on him is, go into my shorts page on YouTube and just look through, and you'll find a Caleb Williams rant a little bit where I say he's a character, not a player, which I still believe in. But still, Odunze has been great. DJ Moore is kind of picking it up a little bit. Kyle Monangai, how about that? Kyle Monangai has been really good this year, really fun. Komet, Loveland, they just got guys that win. And let me tell you something. I don't think statistically their defense has been great, especially against the pass, but they got some ball hawks back there. You want to talk about getting some turnovers? Talk about the Bears. Nashawn Wright has 5 on the year. This is a guy who was traded for Andrew Booth. No disrespect to Andrew Booth. He would lock me up. Andrew Booth was for lack of a better word, failed second rounder. And he was not very good on 2 teams. And now he has 5 interceptions. That's what the Bears do. They bring in these guys. And I don't want to call them a land of misfit toys because that's not what they are at all. But their back end almost feels that way. They just bring in guys, and they're just like really good. They're solid, not great. They're not gonna, you know, hold your opponent to like 13 points. I don't think they're capable of that. They're close. Obviously, not having oh my goodness, Jalen Johns for a majority of the season probably hurt those stats. But look, man, they're turning a page, all right? They're turning a corner rather, and Montez Sweat's been really good. They just have a really solid team. Ben Johnson's done a fantastic job. So kudos to Ben Johnson for making this team watchable. It says a lot. That says a lot about how good of a coach you are. And this is not a team that just screams sophomore slump. I don't see them being like, maybe it wins now. They'll probably finish with like 10 or 11. The biggest slump I see is maybe 2 or 3 losses difference, which is a big difference, but like they're not going to go to like 4 next year. That Bears though, they win. And I was like, I honestly, I'll be honest, I really want to put the Patriots in fallers because I was not happy with the way they played this week, but they won. So about Houston. The Texans, after a horrible start, oh my goodness, they were horrible. They're winning. Okay. Why? That defense is ferocious. Goodness gracious. I would kill to have a defense like that. They fly. They are unbelievable. The stuff they do week in and week out. If I play Houston in December, or not in December, in January, I would be frightened. I would be scared. I would be not happy. Because they're a handcuff defense. They lock you up. They dominate. It's just what they do. And it's really impressive week in and week out seeing them play at the level that they do. It is unbelievable. The stuff that they forced Allen to like 2 or 3 picks. They got him down, I think, 6 times. Is that right? 5 or 6 times, if not more. Plus all the hits he took. Man, Matt, what's the defensive coordinator's name? I'm blanking on it, but he's done a fantastic job. Stingley is amazing, and like they just have such a good defense. Henry Tuo, is that how you say his name? I've always struggled in saying his name. He's been pretty good too. They got a bunch of dogs on that defense, and if I see this team, doesn't matter who's at quarterback. If Stroud's hurt, if he's not playing well, if Davis freaking Mills is in, it doesn't matter to me. This is a team that has the not. I don't want to say all the way, but they're good. They're good, and Indy's starting to slow down a little bit. If I'm Indy, I'm scared. Houston can absolutely jump them. They're getting hot. That defense is just unbelievable. Indy, watch out, especially after you played this last week. We'll talk about them right now. The Chiefs, who were down 20-9, and I was like, no chance they win this. They did. They went to overtime. I think it was 3 overtime games this week. Crazy stuff. The Chiefs are just winning. Sorry, that's not true. The Chiefs win those close games. I should say that. They just somehow find a way to do it. And it's really impressive to see it. I want to give a quick shout out to Brashard Smith. I don't know what it is about him, but he is just really explosive. I feel like every single time I see him get the ball, he's always getting like 10 plus yards. It's really special stuff to see from him. I'm very impressed. He's just been fantastic this year. Stats might not show it, but he's been very good. Rashee Rice, him coming back has made a huge difference. Huge difference. He is really putting this offense all together. Kansas City, they're 6-5. Okay, and not only are they 6-5, they have a great defense, they have a good coach, and they have a winning culture. Is it going to be easy for them to get into the playoffs? Absolutely not. All right, the AFC is loaded. I know that. You know that. They're loaded. It is absolutely loaded to the brim with teams. I mean, for them to think about it, they need to win at least 3 more games. They do, and you have to keep in mind who's in contention. You want to play that game? Let's do. This is a fun exercise for me. Who is still in contention? Okay, let's go through every division. Ravens, Steelers, because they have 8. The Steelers have 8 wins. I want to say, right? That keeps them in. Right? They have 8 wins, right? I Oh no, they have 6 wins. I don't know why I thought they had 8 wins. That's thankfully I checked. The Steelers, Ravens. That's in the AFC North. And the AFC East, Patriots, Bills. That's 4. In the South, Colts, Texans, Jaguars. I'll add them. They're in the mix. They're not as good as they used to be. Broncos, Chargers. That's 9 teams for 7 spots. Plus the Chiefs. That's 10. Man, it's going to be tough, but they win. They know how to win, and that run defense dominated Jonathan Taylor, which is really impressive to see. They made Daniel, and what's nice to see, they made a Colts Daniel Jones look bad. When I was watching him, I was like, this is not the Giants Daniel Jones. When the Colts played the Rams, and it was like their first real test, I saw Giants Daniel Jones in that game. This week I saw Colts Daniel Jones. He's just not as good of a version as he used to be. Chiefs are a good team. All right, they don't win as much, but when they sneak in, similar to the Texans, I do not want to play them for reasons different than the Texans. For the Zebras out there, if you get what I'm saying, but they're gonna win, okay? And I wouldn't be surprised if they find themselves sneaking in. They've had a really good game this week, nice comeback in overtime, gets the fans kind of rejuvenated again. Because keep in mind, if they lose that game, they need to win out. Or win they can only lose maybe one more. And then that's it. They keep their season alive, playoff hopes stay alive. Chiefs, Texans, and the Bears are your ballers of the week. Let's get to the fallers. These are teams that really just ugly stuff here from Minnesota. And I don't want to go about it too much. I feel like this was like their last chance to really think about the postseason. I don't think so anymore. This is loss number 7 for them. Loss number 8 for the Vikings. Loss number 7 for them. They're 4-7 right now. I just want to say this. I don't know. I was doing the podcast when JJ McCarthy got drafted. I don't know if there's any clips of me talking about him, but here's what I'll say about him. When I was scouting him, I thought that he was a bust. All right, I thought that for sure. Then, right near the draft, for some reason, there was a lot of pro JJ McCarthy propaganda. I don't know why. I was very confused by it. And I was like, I don't know why this dude has so much positive propaganda. I'm not saying that he wins. He was a winner at Michigan, but I was like, he benefits from a good system. He's like he's an athletic Mac Jones. Then the Vikings drafted him, and I was like, you know what? No, I think this could work. And you hear all the good reports. Oh, even with Darnold, they were winning, and JJ McCarthy's hurt, but he's still going to meetings. Okay, whatever. He stinks. He has been, I don't know statistically if this backs it up. This claim is backed up, but he has been the worst quarterback in the NFL by a lot. He has played 2 good games. Is that fair? The Bears, and that was one good quarter, and the Lions. I think that was a really good game from start to finish. Outside of that, they haven't done much. I'm not going to take away that offensive line has been a walking hospital, and it's a shame because they have one of the best units when healthy, easily. You have great weapons: Jefferson, Addison, Hawkinson, Mason Jones, Naylor, Thielen. They got those guys, right? They got a lot of good players. Okay. Defensively, interestingly enough, I felt the same way on Sunday about this defense. I always feel like that was like kind of the strong point for them, but they don't seem as aggressive as they used to. They just seem like they're beat so easily. Long season, they look very tired. They look very, I don't want to say unprepared. They just kind of look out of it. They don't look ready. And I think there's a difference between being prepared and between being ready. Prepared meaning you know what they're going to run. You have a good general sense. You understand what the pre-motions are, whatever, pre-snap motions, you understand all that stuff. Ready, you're ready to, take over assignments. You're ready to fill the gaps. They don't do that well. They're ready. They analyze well. They aren't ready though. Okay. KOC is not the problem. I hope everyone understands that. This is one of the best coaches in the NFL. Have I said that they should consider firing him for having 2 13+ win seasons and losing in the first round? Yes, I have said that twice. I have said that, and I believe that that's a fair statement. Do I think he should be fired? Absolutely not. I guess we'll see. Vikings, though, don't look good. I don't think you don't pull the plug this early on a quarterback, but man, if McCarthy continues to play this way, you have to consider it. I also saw recently, because of how well Davis Mills has been playing, someone's like, I wonder how Davis Mills would look in that Kevin O'Connell system. Davis Mills fits like a glove in the system. He works with the play action. He's mobile enough to maybe get 5 yards on like a 3rd and 4. That's interesting. Keep that in the back of your head, Vikings fans. Tampa Bay. I know this is another team that's just been piled with injuries. I mean, goodness. Baker, Evans, Godwin's been hurt the entire year. McMillan, they're hurt. Okay, hurt bad. But that was an ugly performance on Sunday night that you got dismantled by the best team in the league easily. Don't play this. The Rams are wiping the floor with everyone. So that's why I was like, do I need to put them in here? Was there a team that played worse than them? You can't be losing like that, though. And it shows you Baker Mayfield is the spark in this team. All right, he is. Baker Mayfield truly is the spark on this team. And when he's not playing, you don't have it. It's as simple as that. Again, you played a really tough team. The Rams are the best team in football right now, and I don't want any comments saying, "Oh, what about the Patriots? Oh, what about the?" Nope, don't care about the Patriots or the Broncos. The Raiders are not the Raiders. Oof, definitely not the Raiders. The Rams are beating both of those teams by double digits. But I'm feeling that this team is slowly settling down. And when the Panthers did not play well on Monday night, we all know that they did not play their best game. And Bryce Young is too inconsistent. Whatever. Still, Carolina's coming. They are okay, and you can't mention. Tampa Bay. They're losing now. They've lost 3 in a row. Is that right? Because they lost to the Patriots, Bills, and now the Rams. Actually, this might be 4 in a row for them. They don't look as good as they used to. Again, I know injuries, but Buka is not really doing much. That's something to watch out for. Eagles. You're up 21-0, and you lost 24-21 to a Cowboys team that is probably the most mediocre team I've ever seen in my entire life. Do I have to say anything else? This is not a good game. Fumbles. Ugly fumbles. This is a game that you should have won. You had it in the bag. I was going to get CeeDee Lamb and Javonte Williams in fantasy this week, and I'm like, you know what? I wonder if the Eagles just run this game out. I mean, I know it's only the second quarter, but why not? 21-7 at halftime. Like, you know what? They get the ball, maybe. They got to stop. Then they score, and they get another stop, and then they score. Now it's tied. I'm like, oh my goodness, what the heck happened here? And I was like, oh, I know exactly what's happening here. This is a recap. Sorry, this is a repeat. This is a total repeat of the 2023 season. You have an offensive coordinator who cannot coach. You have a very bad offensive coordinator who does not bring this offense to their fullest potential, who is leaving out A.J. Brown, who is making Devonta Smith, I disregard that. Smith has been great this year. Who is making Saquon Barkley look like an average Joe, who's making Jalen Hurts look as inconsistent as ever. And they're blowing leads to teams that they shouldn't blow leads to. We'll see how they bounce back. They do play the Bears on Black Friday this week. That's going to be a tough one. I'm not really sure how I feel about that one yet. And a couple of weeks ago, they were advertising, I want to paint a Black Friday game. That's great, funny. But I'm like, oh my gosh, the Eagles are going to roll the Bears. I don't think so anymore. I think I like the Bears a little bit more in this game. They're hot. They're 8-1 in their last 9. Simple as that. Eagles cannot lose this game. It is just not. You can't. You cannot lose that game. Alrighty. It is now time for the signature segment. That's it. Dogs of the week. Welcome to Dogs of the Week. I was not very happy with how we did that, but that's fine. Dogs of the Week presented by no one. We're getting there. Trust me. We'll see. All right, let's talk about some dogs of the week that we got. We're going to start with our positional dog of the week. And I talked about them before, and because I genuinely believe they were just unbelievable. They were getting after the quarterback so much. Houston Texans defensive line gets the number one dog. It gets the positional, rather, dog of the week. They were getting after Josh Allen, hit after hit after hit after hit. Let's look at these defensive stats for your Houston Texans. All right. Danielle Hunter had 2. That puts him at 15 on the year. Nope, that's not true. He had 2 sacks this year. He had 2 sacks on the day. Will Anderson had 2.5 on the day. Barnett, and Tuatu added an extra sack there, putting them at, if I can do the quick math there, that is 6 or 7. No joke, no pun intended, but they were just fantastic. I mean, Allen, those pockets were crumbling like really fast. They 19 points allowed, and by a Bills team, or by a Texans defense that was going up against a really, really tough Bills offense. A lot of credit to them for being that just great defensively. I know that they had a couple of big chunk plays. I know James Cook had the big running play, and obviously that hook and ladder on like 4th and forever, basically. They got it. It was incredible to see. It was really, really fun for that to happen, because you just don't see it happen. There's like 100 laterals and it never works, but it worked to perfection. Other than those couple plays, Houston dominated. Absolutely dominated for the entire game. They also forced a couple of picks by Josh Allen because of that pressure. So lots of kudos to the Texans defensive line. That is your first dog of the week. All right. Before I get comments saying Gibbs should have been top dog, let me explain. I've been thinking about this for the last couple of weeks. Dog of the week, or dogs rather, are meant to showcase like the under the radar kind of performances that no one really knows about. And when I'm giving it to like Jahmyr Gibbs, who everyone knows either killed him or you loved him in fantasy this week. He had 57 in my league, 50 plus in every other league. Who had 219 plus yards, dog performance. But is that more of a dog performance or an all-star performance? And that's kind of what I was thinking about this. And I knew I had to include Gibbs 110%, so he did. He had 270 total yards. He had like 2 or 3 really long touchdowns on the day. I mean, he was just unbelievable. And it was funny. I saw the projection. I was like 20. It was 22 points, I think, in my league for Gibbs. And I'm like, I think this is like the highest I've ever seen in a 5-star matchup, obviously. And he had 57 in my league. I mean, that's crazy stuff from Gibbs. He was spectacular. I think he had 219 yards on just like 15 carries, which is unbelievable. Like, that's not even fair. So those numbers are bonkers, absolutely bonkers. But he's not top dog because I want to kind of give shout outs to the other players. This is not going to be a consistent thing, but I just feel like dogs of the week is based on the under the radar players. So I'll just leave it at that. Next dog of the week is a joint dog of the week held between Jameis Winston and Wan'Dale Robinson. Right before I started recording, I was like, I got to get Jameis in there. I was like, oh, but Wan'Dale had an amazing game. So I'm going to include them both in this one. Jameis Winston and Wan'Dale Robinson were unbelievable. I mean, Winston had over 400 yards, added the touchdown through the air. Just crazy stuff. He also had the flea flicker touchdown to Wan'Dale. There you go. Both of these guys were fantastic. Robinson had 9 for 156, I want to say, and a touchdown. Winston had over 400 yards out of the receiving touchdown as well against the Lions defense that's been more fierce this year. I think is a good word to use. They're not Swiss cheese, but they've been way more fierce. And I can respect that a lot. It's been really nice to see all the stuff they've been doing for the Lions this year. But Jameis played a Jameis game. Wandale also had a really nice breakout game, career highs for Robinson. Not for catches, but for yards, I believe. Tops his old career high that he got in week 2 against the Cowboys. So nice to see that from the Giants connection here, getting the duo dog of the week. Last dog, and I saw this during Sunday night, and I was like, this dude was so bad on the Commanders, and now he's a stud on the Rams. I'm talking about Emmanuel Forbes. Emmanuel Forbes has just been freaking amazing for the Rams. I mean, amazing. His PFF grade was like 92. He got targeted 8 times. Guess how many catches he allowed? Donut. 0. That's crazy. That's insane that he's only allowing that. Also had the pick. Really spectacular stuff from Emmanuel Forbes. Really good work, because I remember scouting and I was like, I like him. Not as much as some of the other guys in that draft class, in the 23 draft class, but I was like, I like him a lot. I think he's a good player. Washington didn't work out. They didn't unlock his full potential. Now he goes to Chris Shula, and they are just dominating. It's love to see it for Emmanuel Forbes. Really, really spectacular stuff by the Rams to get out his full potential. Because look, he's athletic. He can move. It's something that he's always been really good at. Really, really impressive stuff from Emmanuel Forbes. So big kudos to him for being able to kind of break out in this way. It is now time for top dogs. And this was going to be Gibbs, okay? But then I thought about it. There's one player who just had the perfect dog of the week performance. Green Bay Packers running back, Emmanuel Wilson. We had 2 Emmanuels in dog of the week this week rather. That's crazy. That never happens. Emmanuel Wilson on 28 carries had 107 yards and 2 touchdowns. Really gritty performance from him. He also added 2 catches for 18 yards on 2 targets. Really nice to see Emmanuel Wilson. Look, Josh Jacobs was rolled out earlier on Sunday morning. Emmanuel Wilson steps in and he plays like a dog of the week. Nice stuff there from Emmanuel Wilson for getting dog of the week there. I'm hoping he continues to have great performances like this, because it's better for the sport when Emmanuel Wilson, elite running back, is better or is good in the NFL, if that makes sense. I'm kind of joking, but you'll get a good game, all right? And that earns him the top dog notch for week 12 on the Talkin Football podcast. Thank you all for watching and choosing the Talkin Football podcast as a source of NFL content. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to like, comment, and comment your takes. I will always respond to them. And make sure to subscribe. Should take no more than 2 seconds to like and subscribe. Just do it. It helps me out a lot. Thank you all for watching. This is Talkin Football, and that's what I got to say about that.